Yep.
We'll go get mine. Training camp, day 2. Glad to be here. Glad to see everybody. Try and answer any questions you got.
What's your just impressions of the makeup of the team as it stands right now?
Well, I think at the moment we're real happy with where we are. The team has been reconfigured significantly, I think, from the end of last season, and so it's a new group and potential, for what we think is certainly an improvement. And they all came in pretty good shape, considering the lengthy, what turned out to be a very lengthy off season, obviously. And
y'all forbidden to say lockout?
I'm sorry?
Are y'all forbidden to say lockout?
Oh, I think we can say that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, it was a long time either way. They seem focused and energetic, and everybody's glad to be back playing basketball.
I know it's so early, but just looking at your roster on paper, what stands out as a big difference from last year?
I think we're going to be a better shooting team. We're going to be a better passing team. And I think with, be able to attack teams offensively in more ways than we were able to last year.
At this point, salary-wise, do you have to add anybody else to get to the minimum, or are you good with the rookie signings and everything?
No, we're still about $1 million and change away from the minimum salary.
I'll take that million.
Well, if you can set a good pick and get a rebound, we might take you up on that.
Geoff, are you pretty happy with the general shape of the guys who've come into camp this year?
Yeah, we are. In general, there's a couple guys that need to lose probably a little bit of weight and whatnot. But overall, DeMarcus is 10 pounds lighter than he was at the beginning of training camp a year ago. I think, again, considering how much time off, I think he obviously was working. Tyreek is in better shape than he was at the start of camp last year. Marcus is, basically within a few pounds of his game weight. John is in terrific shape. For that, all the rookies are fine. And so I think, again, considering the amount of time, we're, at least as of today, we're in pretty good shape that way.
How's this team rank in terms of overall athletic ability compared to teams since you've been here? Big size and athleticism.
Well, I think we've got some guys that are long. Do we have guys that can, a lot of guys that can jump over the top of the backboard? I don't know that we have that, but I think we have a lot of good components for. It still comes down to skill and understanding and playing together and chemistry and complementary talent. It's not just about any one thing.
In terms of Dallenberg, do you still see him as somebody you could still talk to at this point, or are you happy with the way the roster is now?
I've had some conversations with Mark. When you renounce somebody, basically you lose their bird rights, but that doesn't preclude you from re-signing them. And so right now we're really, and we've got some things that, some proposal that we've made that we're sitting on. We're also going to sit here and look at the amnesty situation, and then just what happens normally in free agency is, what may either, and with the room we still have, there's tremendous flexibility for trades, with players and salaries and whatnot. Where we're going to go with that, I really can't tell you though. I really don't know, so I can't tell you.
Speaking of the amnesty, a large group of the teams haven't really started dropping those players yet. When do you expect the bulk of that to happen?
Well, I'm not sure. There's a lot of speculation about players that were going to be amnestied. I'm not sure that it's going to be initially to the extent that people outside of the teams thought they were going to do it. But there's been a few so far, and there'll probably be a few more. I mean, in some of those cases, they may not amnesty until they know they need to use the money for something else, especially if it's a player that is still productive and capable of playing.
What was your reaction to what went on with the Chris Paul and Commissioner Stern stepping in?
I just think that when you're managing a team, regardless, and you're trying to decide what's the best thing going forward for your franchise, right, and your team when you make trades or make decisions about the future direction of your team. And they made a decision at that time anyway they thought was in the best interest of the franchise.
I mean, someone who has to put together a roster for franchise yourself, I mean, how would you react to a scenario that way?
Well, it's hard because I don't know what the other options were, what had been discussed, what might still be hanging out there in the future, or things they might want to revisit. You just don't have all the information, so it's hard to make a judgment.
As a guy running a team, do you specifically know, or do others in the league know what the role and the control of the league has with the Hornets? As you like you made a deal with the Hornets last year. Mm-hmm. You didn't hear nothing from David Stern, did you?
No, we don't.
He didn't call you and say it was a good deal or a bad deal?
No, he didn't do that. No, we dealt with Dell Demps the entire time, and we talked to Dell, along with other general managers all the time. We don't call the league to talk about what the Hornets will do.
So it's a surprise that Stern stepped in and played the role that he played.
Well, they still own the team. They're just like any owner. I mean,
well, they're not like any owner. They're the commissioner of the league.
They have an ownership position, okay?
So
I'm a lot more worried about the Sacramento
Kings,
to be honest with you.
I understand. But for a guy who has made a deal with the Hornets and...
Yeah, but I'm just saying, we dealt with Dell Demps. I mean, exclusively.
Geoff, coming into the season with 4 new rotation